Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Memoirs of an Insecure Girl. I'm your girl Courtney, and thanks for joining back in. Let's jump in. I know it's been a minute with videos, and let me just say this: no excuses, because excuses are tools of incompetence. But I am a mama, and so life is crazy. I work full time, so it's just been a lot. But I am very faithful to videos, and I've been doing these for so long, and it's something I'm really passionate about, especially loving on Jesus and helping other people learn more about Jesus. So I am back with that. All being said, welcome back to part two. So you say you know who you are. Last time in part one, we talked about going through different life circumstances, and God begins to show us who we are in those circumstances. Some things we don't ever intend for our life, or we don't know what happened, and through those moments, we begin to see God and His hand in our life. So part two, so you say you know who you are. I realized I could not pack everything that I wanted to share with you guys in one video. So part two is about saying you know who you are. A lot of times we say that we know who we are because by our jobs and different things that we do and who we are. And I wanted to share with you guys is that it's easy for us to say we know who we are as far as our character traits and the things that we do. We can say that we know who we are, but God, He truly knows who we are. Isaiah 10 at 46:10 says, I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times, what is still to come. I say my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. So God is a boss. He's a boss. He does what He desires to do. And as we learn and lean on God, you have a reverence and you have a respect and an honor for God because He has all the authority in His hands and He does what He desires to do. And He does what He desires to do, and that includes our lives. That means that we must acknowledge that God, He is the creator of all things, including our lives. That we should thirst for Him more than anything because we can't give too much praise to our own understanding of things and our own understanding of situations because God, He knows the ending to the beginning, from the beginning to the end. He knows all things. It's like us having a book, right? And we've seen some chapters of our lives growing up, our friendships and our relationships, marriage, kids, all of that. But I don't know the next chapters. But guess who does? God. He knows the next chapters of our life. It says that He orders our footsteps. And so we must not think too high of ourselves because we never know what we may face. We never know the circumstances that we may go through. And God may show us new things, new facets about who we are just from what He allows us to go through. I found that in our lowest moments, in my personal lowest moments, I found that God was my strength. I found talents and gifts and things that I didn't even know that I was capable of in my lowest points. The areas of being challenged, that's when I said, God, you are so faithful. God, you showed me who I was. I didn't even know I could do this. But in your mercy, in your love, and in your kindness towards me, you showed me what I was able to do that I didn't even think I was competent, being honest, or even able to do. But because of you and you being my strength and being my foundation and what I'm grounded in, you showed me, dang, God, I can do this. And so I think it's important to know that God created us. And so because He created us, He has equipped us. But also never thinking too high of ourselves, being too prideful, or have too much ego to think, oh, I'll never deal with that, or I'll never be that, or I never will do that. I hear so many people sometimes say, oh, I'll never be in that situation. We don't know what God might have or intend for us. We never know. I want to leave with you Matthew 26. Matthew 26 and 14. It says, Then one of the 12, the one called Jesus Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you? So they counted out him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Jesus watched for an opportunity to hand him over. Who is Him? Jesus. That's who Him was. Judas, who followed Jesus all of His ministry on the earth. He followed Him. And when it was time for Him to be crucified, Judas agreed to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. I'm sure in the beginning of his life, he never had any intentions of betraying Jesus. But out of greed and self-ambition and his own desires and his own conflicts within himself, he betrayed Jesus. I find it amazing and beautiful, just the knowledge of Jesus. He knew that he would betray him. He knew that Peter would deny him 3 times. But he still showed him, he still walked with him, he still talked with him. And knowing that in the end, when he's about to give his life over, that Judas would betray him and Peter would deny him 3 times. And so I say all that to say is you never know what situations we will face that will put us in a place to say, maybe I don't know who I am. Maybe I'm not who I thought I was. And so I don't want to leave you on that note just about Judas and Judas betraying Jesus. And then he tried to go and give the money back. He attempted to give the money back. And it was too late. It was already done. And so I say all this to tell you guys is that it's important to really stay in God's will. It's important to be in prayer. It's important to not think too highly of yourself and be honorable and have humility to say, God, you show me. I always say, God, show me who I am. God, reveal things unto me, because there's things that we don't know and that we don't understand. So it's important to ask God to continue to show you the things that he desires you to see. You never know what we may face. So it's important to know the one who has all knowledge, all truth, all power in his hand. That's why it's important to cultivate our relationship with Christ more than ever. Until next time, peace.
You making me better, and you choose to do it however, whenever, wherever. God, you making me better. You making me better, and you choose to do it however, whenever, wherever. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I've been through. When the pain cuts deep, you would think it was a jitsu.